So this time, let's get back to Scarlett's answers. The first sentence is, I remember singing I Have a Dream when I had my first debut album. The second sentence is, I remembered to visit my grandparents in our ancestral house in Cebu. So, what have you noticed with the two sentences here? Some verbs are followed by gerunds. Some verbs are followed by infinitives. Some verbs are followed by both gerunds and infinitives with no change in meaning. Some verbs are followed by both gerunds and infinitives with a change in meaning. And that's what we are going to focus today. In this example, we see the verb remember. Remember plus gerund. I remember singing I Have a Dream when I had my first debut album. Here, remember plus gerund means to remember a memory. When remember is followed by a gerund, the action of doing happens first and then you remember it. Now, let's talk about the meaning of remember plus infinitive. I remembered to visit my grandparents in our ancestral house in Cebu. Here, remember plus infinitive is used for an important task. When remember is followed by an infinitive, the order of events is different. It means first you remember, then you do something. Let's look at this example of stop plus gerund. When we stop doing something, it means the verb in the gerund is the thing that we stop. It can mean stop forever or stop at the moment. I stopped answering his calls and rejected his mails. This means that answering his calls is the thing you stopped. Maybe you had a fight with him or you fell out of love with him. However, stop plus infinitive has a different meaning. We stop something else in order to do the verb in the infinitive. I stopped to have some coffee. This means that you perhaps were walking and then you stopped just to have some coffee at a coffee shop or anywhere else. Here, to have means with the intention of. Forget plus gerund. Forget plus gerund simply means you forget a memory, something that you've done in the past. I will never forget meeting him for the first time during our first team up in the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This means that you could never forget the time when you first met him. However, forget plus infinitive means something different. I forgot to greet him during our first anniversary. This means you wanted to greet him but you accidentally forgot. It wasn't your intention to forget your anniversary. Here, forgot to greet, infinitive, means you forgot to do an important task. Let's take another look at this example of regret plus gerund. This is when you are sorry about something you did in the past and you wish you hadn't done it. I regret spending a lot of money when I was at the peak of my career. This means that you spent a lot of money and you are perhaps broke right now and you regret it. Regret plus infinitive. We use this pattern when we are giving someone bad news in a quite formal way. The verb is almost always something like say or tell or inform. I regret to tell you that I have no plans to continue my showbiz career. So these verbs are followed by both gerunds and infinitives with a change in meaning. Remember, stop, forget, and regret. Please take note of these patterns. Remember plus gerund. Remember to plus infinitive. Stop plus gerund. Stop to plus infinitive. Forget plus gerund. Forget to plus infinitive. Regret plus gerund and regret to plus infinitive. So guys, let's check your understanding of our lesson we had earlier. All you have to do here is to supply the correct verb for each number. Ready? Let's start with number 1. Rose stopped blank the horror film as it was getting too scary. The verb is watch. If your answer is watching, then you are correct. Number 2. We regret blank you that our hotel is fully booked until the end of December. The verb here is inform. What do you think is the answer? Well, if you answer to inform, then you are correct. So let's move on to the next number. Number 3, I clearly remember blank Julia at a party. She was talking to Josie and Beth. The verb here is see. And the correct answer is, well, can you guess? If you answer sing, that makes your sentence correct.
Created using Powtoon.